everyone, welcome back to a 2v2 Warhammer battle. This is going to be Beastmen and Dwarves versus Wood Elves and the Empire. For my army here, I actually took a Cygor. We have a front line of Gore Herds, 2 Minotaurs with shields, 2 Gore Bulls, 3 Ungor Spears, be led by Malagor the Dark Omen, which allows me to summon a second Cygor when the actual melee starts, and then I took the very cheap spell just so I could spam it and use his talent of increasing vigor and speed. The dwarf player brought a front line of dwarf warriors. Behind them we have Corlers, you have 2 runesmiths and a rune lord, which is really defensive and really good grouping there. 2 slayers and then 3 grudge throwers, one of which is the Gob Lobber. For the enemy players, we have a whole bunch of halberd, spear, infantry. We have 3 great swords, a couple handgunners, 3 of them. We have the Hellstorm rocket battery being led by General of the Empire and a great cannon. I've already hit one of the great swords with my rocks from the Cygor. I'm trying to hit the second one, and then... then for the Wood Elf player, we have Eternal Guards with shields. All up in here, we have the Spellsinger of Life. We have a couple of Glade Guard with Starfire shafts. Then we have multiple War Dancers. I think there's 3 of them in here. Maybe there's only 2. Yeah, maybe there's only 2. Then you have 2 Treekin being led by Durthu with no spells whatsoever. Not even Flock of Doom. And then over here, we have a Wild Rider with shield. So, I wanted to play the Beastmen, and I was going to play a Rush Army, because that's what Beastmen usually do, but then I saw that my ally brought 3 Grudge Throwers, and I knew that we were playing against an Empire player who 99% of the time is going to bring some kind of artillery. And then there was the Wood Elf player, and then there was me. And I was like, well, I bet you this game is going to be long artillery phase, and then the Wood Elf player and me are just going to have to sit there and wait for it to be over. So instead of just being able to sit there, I chose a Cygor, and now I'm taking it into the forest and blocking a lot of these great cannon shots by using the trees to my advantage. And now I'm going to fast forward it. You can see the Empire player, knowing that I was hitting their forces, actually just pulled their units out of range of my Cygor, so I'm moving them up and then also into the forest. And then what I'm going to be doing here for the next, a while, I'm going to be popping out, throwing rock, popping behind trees. Popping out, throwing rock, popping behind trees, and blocking shots. And we're just going to fast forward. I'm keeping my army safe and sound from their Hailstorm rocket battery and their great cannon, and I'm keeping my Cygor back here, and you'll just see him. He'll pop out, he'll take a shot. Now that the enemy put their army back in front of the great cannon, so I'm gonna miss a lot too, to be honest. We're gonna get hit here a couple times, but for the most part, I'm gonna be able to go. Boop, 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 boop. My allies' grudge throwers are pouring fire into the Wood Elves, and then also now they're going to be focusing on the Hailstorm rocket battery, which is using its ammunition against the grudge throwers, which you don't want to do. I don't understand why so many people bring a Hailstorm rocket battery and then they just wasted it on like this artillery fight. The Hailstorm rocket battery is not meant for this at all. At all. It is so inaccurate. It's meant to hit this. All this. You see all this clumped up? This is what it wants. Fire over here. But anyway, the Hailstorm rocket battery is eventually going to be taken by the grudge throwers. I'm again just going bloop, 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 bloop. And this I'm talking too fast. This Empire player is backing up their army trying to get out of range of Cygor, but I'm still in range. As you can see here. Then the cannon is going to say, well, F this, because I've blocked, I don't even know how many shots by now from using trees, so I'm just going to be like, okay, bloop, bloop, bloop. Hopefully get more accurate, so we're going to march out here. Now the Hailstorm rocket battery has been taken out of the combat. Now the grudge thrower is going to be taken, I'm sorry, the cannon's going to be taken out of combat, so I'm going to be like, okay, cool, bloop, 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 bloop. And I'm going to get more accurate. You can see how much damage I've done to these great swords. I've hit a halberd unit here and there. The Wood Elf is taking a lot of damage from the grudge thrower, even though they're in the trees, and now they're moving some of their forces back, and I'm just going bloop, 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 bloop. Meanwhile, oh, I forgot to tell you, I have 2 Vanguard deployed Chaos Puppies over here that I'm just waiting to go around and spring on the enemy. I forgot to mention that. And now that their artillery is taken out, I actually move my army up here to the edge of the forest. My allies moving their army up. This crew is going to get back on the great cannon. I'm going to try and move out of range over here, and now I'm going to get my puppies over here to try and deal with the great cannon. I am going to take some point-blank shots here, and this one halberd group is going to be marching up. Oh, all right, I did take a couple shots at the Eternal Guard. But after this, 10 minutes! It's been 10 minutes! I hate artillery fights, but I knew what was going to happen, and I wanted to at least be a part of it instead of having to sit still for who knew how long. 10 minutes! And this player, instead, they're losing the artillery fight. They've lost their Hailstorm rocket battery. This great cannon is at half health. I'm pulling out the Chaos Puppies. We're going to come around here and finish it off. The only thing they've done to me is hurt a Cygor, which has used most of its ammunition and has over 100 kills already, so it's worth it already by all the damage I've done to the great swords. I've done damage to this handgun. Like, all this shit, for the most part, is my Cygor. A lot of this is the grudge thrower, and some of this is also the grudge throwers as well. But we have hammered their position. We're going to take out the great cannon. I'm just letting these halberds get close. I'm going to jump on them with this Chaos Puppy. After we take this guy out, we're gonna move these Chaos Puppies back over here. And instead of helping their own units, they're just gonna sit back here in the forest. They lost the artillery fight, but they refused to charge. I don't understand the mentality of some people when you lose a fight, because after they lost that Great Cannon, they just let my Cygor sit here and just continually pepper their units, and he was getting hits because I was making sure to throw rocks that were not going to be blocked by trees, and they still refused to march out. They're like, no, I'm not going to march. I can't attack. I'm a defensive player. And it upsets me that they're so defensive. I'm getting so upset by kicking this person's ass because they're letting me. They're letting me walk all over them. Anyway, we killed this Halberd group. We killed the Great Cannons. They're shattered. They're off to Fucksville. My army is now out in the open because there's nothing threatening them except for some of the Glade Guard under those handgunners back here. I'm going to be getting my Chaos Puppies over here. I'm going to be splitting off my Ungor Spearmen, and they're going to be going over here as well. We're going to try and do a flank. And then at this point in the match, after 11 minutes, or maybe a little bit longer, let's fast forward a little bit, it's when this army starts charging out. I'm going to start... Look! I'm throwing rocks! I'm getting more damage on these greatswords! They're just letting me do it! They're letting me do it! Another great hit on these greatswords! But finally, you see them marching out of the forest? You know why they're marching out of the forest? Because the player left! The player left the game at this point after after 11 minutes or so of losing an artillery fight, after refusing to assault my position, even though we had the advantage. You have to attack us, or you're just going to take so much damage. They just refused to attack, and it pissed me off so much that they are just so stubborn and allow themselves to get trampled. So now this is the AI taking control of the Empire army. The Wood Elf player is actually going to stay in the game to the very end. So, like, they don't... At least the Empire player doesn't have much of a chance at this point. Like, their forces are hammered, man. Their great swords are all but destroyed. They have some halberds still. Their handgunners are still up. But now I have all this massive flank forces over here. So my puppy's just going to go bloop, bloop. My Ungor Raider's going to go bloop, bloop, bloop. My front line's going to go bloop, 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 bloop. My Minotaur's going to go bloop, bloop. And then I'm going to throw the Cygor into here for fear and terror and being a monster creature. But the Wood Elf player is now going to focus on my Dwarven ally, whose Corridor Fire is starting to open up on the Reichsguard, who are going to just charge ahead because it's being controlled by the AI right now. And again, you can see me getting in position to try and silence these riflemen who are shooting into my Ungor Spearmen, which is fine. Going to get my Gorbals up in here. I don't know why, but at some point one of my Gorbals splits off and attacks the Wood Elves, and I don't remember giving them that order. But that's going to happen here soon. So anyway, Blade Guard are going to be left out here to die because all their frontline support is going to be up there. So I'm going to like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to run over here with the puppies. We're going to tangle them down. I'm also going to be running up a Gore Herd. And I think I wanted to send both of my Gorbals up here. But for some reason, one of them gets... Oh, wait. I think I attacked the Greatsword. That's why. So I leave one of these guys over here after continuing with the Greatsword. I think they get caught up with the Spearmen. That's what's going on. All right. So anyway... meanwhile, the massive flank is going on. We're taking out the riflemen. We're just pouring through a front line they had, which was nothing because they allowed us to kill them. Minotaur is running up here. Cygor running up here. Gore is running up here to try and support this fight. Chaos Puppy is going to be routed by Durthu. He came out of the woods, but that's okay. I'm going to stick my Gorbals onto Durthu. Minotaur is doing a flanking force, trying to get around these halberds. This Gore is going to go over here and assist against these halberds and trying to round them off after we destroy this greatsword. Cygor is going to go up the middle. Gore is now in here dealing with the Wild Riders and these Glade Guard, but the Glade Guard are not really firing much because we're right there in melee. Throwing in Minotaurs, throwing in the Gore Herds because the Empire player has nothing left to stop me. Throwing in the Ungors, throwing in the Minotaurs. Meanwhile, for the Dwarf fight, though, this is a little harder for the Dwarves. They are dealing with a lot of Eternal Guard and Shriekin up here, supposed to of life, keeping them alive. And this is where one of my Gorbals got caught by the Eternal Spearmen. And they get hammered, man. And I'm trying to just pull him out. And I was like, where the hell is my second Gorbal? They both should be on Durthu at this point. And he's stuck back here. So anyway, these Corlers are going to get up with some of these War Dancers. They're going to do okay against these Dwarves. Front line of Dwarves holding on really strong with the 3 Runesmiths, with 2 Runesmiths and 1 Rune Lord. It's such a tanky defensive build. Cygor now getting to the fight with Durthu. We again have the Gorbals here. I'm going to start disengaging my infantry and my Minotaurs to try and do some rear charges to assist my Dwarven ally. Also, meanwhile, finishing up the Empire player. Having our Chaos Puppies out here just rerouting handgunners. And again, the Cygor double Gorbals on Durthu. Not much he can do in the situation. I don't even... Oh, wait, no. I do eventually summon a Cygor from Malagor. I do eventually summon a Cygor. But I don't even need it. But I do it anyway because I'm sitting on like 30 Winds of Magic. I've casted a couple of his AoE spells here and there. Here we go. More units coming over here now that we've dealt with one of these Halberdiers. This Halberdier is going to be running soon, so I'm going to be running these people over. We're just going to be... here comes General of the Empire to try and cause Malagor some problems. That's okay. I'm going to stick the Gorbals on the general. Also going to stick one of these Minotaurs in the general now that we have dealt with Durthu. And you see the Wood Elf players trying their best. They're keeping off our rear charge with these two War Dancers, so I'm just going to go whoop, whoop. And then we're going to summon the Cygor right there. Chaos Whip is still out there causing havoc. Corlers are now just free to fire all day, every day. Gorbul's holding up the General of the Empire, and then there goes a summon to Cygor, and then the Cygor that we actually paid for, and they're just going to come in there and be like, blah, we're Cygors, blah, 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 blah. And then it's going to be a mass rout. I just don't understand how, in what plan do you have where you take so much damage and that you think you're going to win? I hammered half their army. My actual army was fine. My Cygor was like at half health because the halberds got to him and the great cannons eventually did damage to him. But that's it. I had a half health Cygor. They had like half an army left. And then they leave the game. They're like, well, I guess I'll leave because I lost the artillery battle. Like, what are you doing? I usually don't make fun of people and talk shit about people, but come on. Then you're just gonna leave your ally there after they were waiting patiently for 11 minutes because they knew they couldn't attack by themselves because then they would just get ambushed by two armies. It'd be a 2v1. So they have to wait for their Empire player to, you know, want to go on the attack, but they never did. And they just sat there for 11, 12 minutes, lost half their army, and they're like, well, I guess I'm just gonna leave. And just totally waste their allies' time. Pisses me off. God. Good game to Nyx for sticking in there to the very, very end. Trying to do your best. Good game to Kaike, if I pronounce that right. So for damage here, you know, Cygor netted almost 200 kills. Minotaurs did great. Everything did great. Like, because the Empire couldn't stop us at that point. And then we 2v1 the, like, there wasn't much of a battle there at the end. Grudge Thrower was allowed to do way too much damage. Just way too much damage. Should never allow that to happen. Dwarf Warriors held off the Eternal Guard very well, because that's what they do, especially when they're supported by double Runesmiths and Rune Lord, which makes the front line nearly impossible to get through. And you also got to remember Rune of Wrath and Ruins for these two, and then a greater Rune of Wrath and Ruin being dropped every, what, 90 seconds? It's ridiculous. This, like, that build, I never run that build, because honestly I think it's kind of cheesy to do double Runesmith and a Rune Lord, because, not necessarily because they're defensive buffs, but specifically because Runes of Wrath and Ruin is so damn strong, and you'll never see me run this. Maybe like if I play a tournament at some point, because this is like a tournament army, at least leadership-wise. Then for Nyx here, who tried their best, they got some kills with the Wild Riders, but I mean, honestly, what were they going to do? It's a 2v1. Durthu got some kills before we Gorbuled him to death, but yeah. So good game to those players, and hope you enjoyed me hating on that Empire player, because how dare you waste your allies' time like that? How dare you? They waited patiently to get an actual fight going for over 11 minutes, and then you just leave them to die. Absolutely terrible. Anyway, let's go watch the cinematic view. Hurl it! Ah. Even missing like half his shots, he still almost got 200 kills, which is pretty good. That rock. Silencing all 3 archers in one group, man. Need to spread them out a little bit. Although Jurtha did come in pretty quickly. But they bought me the time needed for everything else to come over here.
They cast spells against us!
Can't stop them all, Jurtha. He's alive, and he's pissed. And then that's it. At least he got him to the field at the very end there. Way to go there, Summon Cygor. Well, I hope you enjoyed the battle, everybody. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day.